Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hello. So,
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
so this is the second semester. In this first unit, we discuss the general characters of bryophytes. Okay. So, what is bryophytes? So, bryophytes are the first land plants. Primitive land plants are first. They are the structure of the thallus is most simple. And first land plants, they are called as the first land plants. So the name of the bryophytes, which is derived from the two words are there. That is the bryon means mosses like structures are there. Phyton means plants. So mosses like structures of plants considered as a bryophytes. Okay. So here in the bryophytes, there are a number of genera and species are there. Around the 960 genera are present and 24,000 approximately 24,000 species are present in the bryophytes. Okay, so that is the what is the habitat and habit of the bryophytes. They are the cosmopolitan. Bryophytes are the simple and primitive non-vascular flowering plants, flowerless plants, sorry, non-vascular flowerless plants. The first embryos appeared in these bryophytes. So that's why the embryogeny, we call as embryogeny. And this group we call as the amphibians of the plant kingdom. Amphibians of the plant kingdom means these plants are migrated to land from the water. So they are the first land plants and first embryogeny plants. Okay, they can grow on the shady places. Shady places are there, and some rocks, wet rocks, tree trunks, and wet soil where it is occur. So they are the dry rocky surface in the soil formation is also. So these bryophytes are called as the liverworts, hornworts, and some mosses are there. Okay. Some fossil bryophytes also there. The Rixia is the fossil bryophytes and Jungermonias, and some species are there. Okay. So in the morphology, the thallus is here. There are the very simple structure thallus is present. This is the very simple structure. Okay. So this is the thallus and foliage of the two types of the plant bodies are recorded in the bryophytes. The thallus, that the plant body is the first pore state and it is the different from dorsal and ventral surface are there. Here, there is no differentiation in root system, stem and leaves are not present. For example, liverworts are there. And branching is dichotomously or some irregularly and ventral surface. Multicellular scales are present and some unicellular rhizoids also present in this. And the dorsal surface are the thickened midrib is present. And apical notch and bear the reproductive organs are there. So another type is the foliage types are there. That is the gametophyte. They are the spirally arranged and leaves at the base of the numerous multicellular rhizoids are there. For example, polytrichum. Another one is the reproductive. The Bryophyte shows vegetative sexual reproduction have present in the reproduction system. So, therefore, there are the multiply by the various vegetative methods are there. That is the advantages, branches, tubers, bulbous, and gemme. So, gemme cups are present in the Markantia. This is the special character of the Markantia. Even here, the amphibians, something plant kingdom, we call that one. So, in the reproductive system, there are the gametophyte and is termed as sporophyte can generated and develop in the gametophyte. That one we call as a apospore. The sexual reproduction here oogamous type is occurred. So non-motile egg and motile germs are there. Flagellated motile anthrozoids, spermatozoids are fused to form the zygote. In the female reproductive, we call as the Archegonium. It is the flask shaped with the basal swollen and venture and elongated narrow neck filled with the neck canal cells. Archegonia is the female reproductive organ. The antheridia is the male reproductive organ. The venter is filled with the large egg and ventral canal cells. So both are the venter and neck are converted into sterile tissues. Antheridia, this one is the male reproductive organ, which is the globose or ellipsoidal or club-shaped structure is there. The antheridium is covered with a sterile jacket that is there, and inside the androcysts are present. The androcysts and formed as anthrozoids. These anthrozoids have the nucleus and have the blephroplast and two flagellas are there. And in some liverworts and mosses, sex organs are present on the surface of the thallus. So at maturity, the ventral canal cells and neck canal cells are degenerated, forming the slimy moss, which is the pushes open to cover the cells. Then the anthrozoids are attracted to the slime drops and reach the egg to form the zygote. The zygote is diploid and developed as a sporophyte. So after the zygote, so undergoes to the number of divisions to produce the sporophyte. So here most of the cells are there. Okay, like this already discussed that one scale leaves and all are there. This one. So vascular totally complete is absent and another one is the zygote. The archegonium then divide into repeated leaves to form the multiple number of multiplication, then form the multicellular embryo is formed. So the embryos obtain this nourishment from the tissues of the gametophyte and develops as sporophyte. This sporophyte has the basal foot, middle seta, and apical capsule is present. So the capsule is enclosed in the sterile jacket, that is the inside the sporocysts are there, or spore mother cells are present. Okay. Each spore mother cells divide meiotically to form four haploid spores. So these all the spores are produced in the capsule only. Okay. So these all spores are that we call as a homospore. Similar in structure, or one type of the spores are produced that called as a homospore. Some are the different in sizes are there, that is the heterospore. Example, Salvinia and Marsilia. Okay, this is the another one is the economic importance. The bryophytes helps in the formation of the soil and soil conversion, mainly in used in the sphagnum. The sphagnum is converted into the soil formation. Mm. So some bryophytes also used as the fuel and packing material, paper like that fabric. They are used in these some industries also. So next one is the classification. The brown consider these bryophyte what brown. So Parihar is classified the bryophyte into three classes are there: hepatic apsida, anthoceratopsida, and bryopsida, based on their character. Hepatic apsida, anthoceratopsida, and bryopsida. So again, these class hepatic apsida then divided into four classes are there: Calborellus, Gengermanius, and Spirocarpus, Marcantiales. Then Anthoceratopsida, only one order is there, that is the Anthoceratales. Bryopsida, they can divide four orders are there: Sphagnales, Antrials, Polytrichils, Funereals. So these Hepatocapsida, Anthoceratopsida, there are the here one species we discussed, that is the genus Marcantia include the our syllabus, that is the Marcantiaceae family. The thallus of these Marcantia foliage gametophyte is present. The thallus is flat and dorsiventrally differentiated into prostate and dichotomously branched structure is the distinct midrib is present. Scales and rhizoids are smooth walled. Next one is the Anthoceratopsida. So here the Anthoceratales, only one order is there, that is the Anthoceratopsida. The gametophyte of thallus is a simple lobed dorsiventrally differentiated is present. Okay. This is the Archegonium. Okay. Then the Anthoceratopsida, the rhizoids and smooth walls are there. Oh, there is a sporophyte has the foot and capsule is there. So instead of the theta, this is a meristematic tissue is there between the capsule and foot. This is a continuously grows this meristematic tissue. The capsule has the sterile multilayer jacket is present. Next one is the bryopsida. The Bryopsida. The plant body is the foliage gametophyte. It is differentiated into stem, leaves, and rhizoids are there. The leaves are sessile, spirally arranged on the stem. So this is the conducting tissue is there, surrounded by the cortex, and centrally the central core is there. So here the six organs at the tip of the fertile branches are there. The sporophyte consists the foot, seta, and capital. This is the sporophyte, which is depending on the gametophyte. So here spores on germinate give us the gametophyte, and these gametophyte to completely to develop as adult plant. Okay. Hmm. This one is the Markantia. Okay. So the Markantia life is second unit. We discuss the life history of Markantia, Anthocyanin, and Funaria. These three we discuss in the Bryophyta. So the Markantia is represently the genus of this one is the families belongs to the Markantiaceae. So which is the called as the Hornwort. Okay. So the division is the Bryophyta, class is the Hepaticapsida, order is the Markantiaceae, family is the Markantiaceae, genus is the Markantia. Then external morphology. The plant body is the thallus gametophyte is there, which is the flat with the dorsal and ventral surface, the prostate and branch dichotomous. The dorsal surface is dark green with a shallow midrib in ventral surface, as pulpish scales are present in the ventral surface. So these dorsal surface, there are the polygonal areas are there. That is the filled with the air. Okay. So in the dorsal surface, some gemmas, sex organs are there. That is the asexual reproductive organs. So that is the gemma cups are there. They are involved in the reproductive system. So the sex organs are produce a stalk receptacles on the gametophyte. That one we call as the Anthoriophore and Archegoniophore. Anthoriophore we call as the male reproductive, and Anthoriophore, Archegoniophore we call as the female reproductive organ. Okay. In the internal structure, what is here? Internal structure of the Markantia. This see here. So this is the gemma cup. See here on the ventral surface, some cup-like structures are there. This one we call as a gemma cup. In the transverse vertical section of the gemma cup, like these structures are there. This one, this one. Inside the gemma cup, so some gemmas are there. So small gemma is a small stalk-like structure. This is the gemma. Okay, stalk-like structures are there. That is the, and we have some rhizoids, and oil bodies also present. So, structure of the thallus, internal structure of the thallus, we can take the transverse section, which is a single layer, and epidermis is present. That is upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Upper epidermis is the several areole is present. That is the air pores are present, means air enchyma. Each air pore leads to a air chamber is there. The air chamber is separated by the one cell thick portion, that is the trabeculase. Inside that one, assimilatory cells are there. These assimilatory cells are filled with, means they are doing the photosynthesis. Assimilatory filaments are assimilatory cells. These cells are beneath the assimilatory region. They are the colorless, and parenchymatous starch containing cells are there. That when we call as a storage region, aerenchyma, storenchyma. So that is the lower epidermis. They have the scales and rhizoids are there. Reproductive system. There are the both vegetative and sexual reproduction involved in the Markantia. That is the vegetative reproduction, the progressive death and the older part and surviving the lobes of the thallus, they can grow as a new plant. Some disc-like structures are present on the dorsal side of the thallus, that is the gemmas. This is the gemma is the dumbbell-shaped structure is there. The unicellular small stalk is there. The cells of gamete contain some chlorophyll, and some cells are oil bodies, mucilage cavities also present. Some rhizoid cells are also present. So inside the gemma cup and intermediate, their leaves are there. That is the filamentary, assimilatory filaments also there. Then sexual reproduction here. This sexual reproduction here, oogamous type of the reproduction is occur. This is the flask-like structure is there. This is the Archegonium. Long neck and venter canal cells. A flask-like structure is there. Archegonia is the flask-like structure. Means archegonial initial is developed. This is archegonial initial. This archegonial initial again to develop as a two cells, that is the outer cells and basal cells. So again, these outer cells again to divide peripherally number of divisions to form a covering layer, that is the neck canal cells are the neck initial and primary venter cells. Okay. This one is the Markantia is the dioecious condition, means a male and female reproductive organ in produced in the different plant, dioecious condition. Antheridia is the male organ, Archegonia is the female reproductive organ. Okay. So Archegonium, that is the cylinder-like structures are the small stalk is present, that is the multicellular stalk is there, and receptacles it is the 9 rays are towards the edges. So the receptacle with the rail look like a umbrella-like structures are there. At maturity stage, which is the umbrella-like structures are there. This is in the maturity Archegonia. See here, there are the structures are there. At maturity stage, okay, in the maturity stage, there are the rays, the lobes will be near converted into downwards, which is near to the stalk. So the flask shaped is the long neck and broad ventral cells are there. The tip of the neck is covered with the cover cells, and the neck is filled with the 8 neck canal cells, and the ventral cells, that is the swollen based structure is the ventral canal cells, and head is so, and the antheridia here. Antheridia is the, see here, this is the sporophyte after the fertilization. The antheridia means this is the male organ, which is the antheridia 4 are there. So thallus and consist of erect multicellular stalk is present. Okay. At the tip of the stalk is the lobe and disc receptacles are there. The upper side of the disc has antheridial chambers with the antheridia and air chambers are consisting of the photosynthetic filaments also present. At the maturity of the antheridium, as the stalk, small stalk is there and oval body is present. Okay. So inside the antheridia, there are the androcyte cells are there. That androcyte cells are to undergoes to the reduction division to form the anthrozoites. So these anthrozoites, each anthrozoite is the biflagellate anthrozoites are there. So development of the sporophyte. The diploid zygote divide number of divisions to form as a sporophyte. So the zygote is divided transversely and form the upper epibasal cells and lower hypobasal cells. So after these hypobasal cells and epibasal cells are divided vertically and to form the quadrate-like structures are there. That is the 8 cells structure is there. After that one divide and a right angle to the first division and to form the octant two types of the 4 cells are in the epibasals, that is the tire developed in the capsule, and here to form the food seta and formed from the hypobasal cell. Mhm. The cells, these hypobasal tire to develop an irregularly mass of the parenchyma tissue. The basal cells of this tissue to small and protrude to gametophyte formed as a bulbous foot. So in the inside the capsule, that is the That is amphibasal tier to outer amphitheecium, and inner one is the endothecium is developed. The cells of the amphitheecium is divided to form the cells of jacket, the capsule and endothecium of the archisporium, which is further divided to result of the sporogenous tissue. Endothecium only to form the sporogenous tissues. The sporogenous tissues to form the spores or spore mother cells. So mature, these sporophyte consists of food, seta, and capsule. The embedded is the gametophyte is the bulbous food which is help the absorption water and nutrients. Between the food and capsule, a small stalk-like structure is there. That is the seta, which is the sterile tissue. So another one is the capsule. Capsule is the oval-like structure is there, which is made up of the single layer jacket is there. So inside the capsule, spores and elaters also present. So these capsule is covered the calyptra or periganium or pericytium. So protecting jacket layers are there. At the time of the dispersal, the spore theta are elongated and pushed into the capsule, and these protecting covering layers and capsule jackets split into the hygroscopic nature of these elaters, and this force will be dispersed into the surrounding. So after that, spores are germinate, and when the moisture substratum, these spores are swollen and absorb the water and to germinate uh, by the two division. So that one we call as a protonym. Initially, the protonym is formed. The apical cells and new cells are either produced in the new thallus, so smaller hyaline-like structures are elongated and to form the rhizide cells are there. Okay, this is the Markantia structure. Okay, so the next one we discuss the Anthocyanin. See here, this one is the Anthocyanin. So Anthoceras, this is the class is the Anthoceratopsida, and order is the Anthoceratales, family is the Anthocerataceae, and the genus is the Anthoceras. This one we call commonly as the hornwort. Means horn-like structures are there. That's why we call it the hornwort. The thallus is dark brown and small prostate dorsiventral structure is there, and lobed structure is present. The dorsal surface smooth, usually lacking a distinct midribs, and which is contain elongate sporophyte, which is enclosed by the involucre. So involucre means sheath-like structures at the base of the sporophyte. Involucre is the special structure. The ventral surface bears there are the smooth wall rhizoids and tubular rhizoids also present in the Markantia, but here the scales and tubular rhizoids are absent in the Anthocera. Internal structure of the thallus. Internal structure of thallus. Here we can take the transverse section of the thallus. Here There is the compactly arranged of the cells are there. Here, the parenchyma tissue totally present in the parenchyma tissue between the upper and lower epidermis. Here, the air chambers, air pores are absent, and each cell is the hexagonal in structure. So, which one is they have the chloroplast and pyronates also there. Some cavities also there, mucilage cavities are there. That is the cavities filled with the BJ nostoc. So that's why we call it the nostoc colonies, which is involved in the nitrogen fixation. Next one is the reproduction system. So Anthocyanin produced by the vegetative and sexual reproduction. The vegetative reproduction means they are the gemmacups are the tubers and some growing persistent growing apis are there. So that is a small stalked gemmas are produced. There are the germinate gyrate new thallus. Then sexual reproduction. In the Anthocyanin, they reproduced by the sexual reproduction means oogamous type of the reproduction is present. This is the male and female organs may be present on the same plant. So that's why we call it the monoecious condition. Some plants also dioecious conditions also there. So the monoecious is Antheridia produced before the Archegonium, that is the protandrous condition. So that one we call as the protandrous condition. Means okay. Antheridia is early developed. Both organs are embedded on the dorsal surface of the thallus. Antheridia. So there are the elongated antheridia are there. That is the antheridia is they can germinate on the antheridial cavity or chambers are there. So these each antheridial chamber they contain a single or some group of the antheridia. So some antheridial jacket cells
What's the
also there.
antheridia means? Antheridia, sir?
So antheridia is present in the antheridial chamber. Okay, see here in that picture. This one is the antheridial chamber is there. This
Yes.
one.
This one. Okay, sir.
Okay, this one is the antheridial chamber. So inside the antheridial chamber, some are the single or grouped of the antheridias are present. Okay.
This is a type of antheridia chambers, no, sir?
Yes. Okay. This is the antheridial chamber. So means antheridial initials again, then goes to the number of divisions. That is the roof cells and antheridial initial. There are again divided periclinally and anticlinally to develop as the antheridia. This one. And next one is the Archegonia. So Archegonia here also deep seated in the dorsal side of the thallus. They are only cover the cells of archegonial neck project on the thallus. As the archegonium is embedded in the thallus of the gametophyte tissues, the jacket cells and neck and ventures are distinct in this condition. The Archegonial neck contains 4 to 6 neck canal cells, and the venter has the venter canal cells, and egg is present. So at the time of the maturity time, the neck canal cells and venter canal cells are degenerated to form a mass of the mucilage. So these mucilage, which is observe the anthrozoites. Then anthrozoites and get to attract with the mucilage and swim through
Sir,
the neck
mucilage,
canal
what is
cells.
the mucilage, sir? What's the
So
meaning of mucilage?
mucilage, this is the mucilage when the maturity stage, these neck canal cells and venter canal cells are to form
Okay.
a attracting tissue, formed as attracting tissue. That attracting tissues attract these anthrozoites. Okay. So that's why the anthrozoites are attracted by these mucilage tissues and then swim through the neck canal cells and to fuse the egg to form the zygote. So after zygote, then again the number of divisions to formed as a sporophyte. See here, this structure is a sporophyte.
शोभा आंटी क्या हुआ तबीयत कैसी है आपकी तबीयत कैसी है सर वीडियो इज फ्यूज्ड सर वॉइस इज नॉट कमिंग
So after the fertilization, here they are formed. This one is a sporophyte. Okay. And the sporophyte, which is the maturity stage, which is divided into food and middle meristematic tissue and elongated capsule is there. Slenderly elongated capsule is present. Okay. So the fruit is bulbous and consists of the vacuolated parenchyma tissue, and which is the embedded to the gametophyte. Okay. The fruit is the Astoria-like structures are there. Astoria in nature is there, which is help to the transport the nutrition and water for the development of the sporophyte from the gametophyte. The gametophytic tissue is surrounding the fruit grows, so they form the tube like protecting layer is there, that is the involucre at the base of the sporophyte. A sheath like structure is there, involucre. Between the fruit and capsule, a meristematic zone is there. That meristematic zone is continuously divided to produce the new cell. So that's why the sporophyte of the Anthocyanin, they can grow continuously. See this one here. This is the structure of the sporophyte of the Anthocyanin. So this is the food, and this one is the meristematic zone is there, and elongated capsule is present. Okay. So the capsule, there are slightly complex internal structure is there. That is the outer jacket, central columella is there. Between the jacket and columella, there are the archisporium tissues is there. That nothing but archisporium tissue or sporogenous tissue. The capsule jacket at 4 to 6 celled thick wall is present. Epidermis cells are covered with the cuticle. Stomata are covered with the two guard cells also present. So epidermal cells are contain chloroplast at the apial regions are capsule with the ventral growth through the some capsule splits are there. So centrally columella is the central core. There is the sterile tissue is also there. There is the narrow, elongated, continuous from the base to the tip of the capsule. So these columella they can give the mechanical strength to the and helps in the transport of the water to the spore. For these porogenous tissues present in the between the columella and capsular wall. From these tissues, spore mother cells and fluorelators also form. The spore mother cells undergoes to the meiosis to produce the four tetrads. So divide up these pseudoeter mother cells, they can give the three cells, 1 to 3 cell pseudoelaters also. At the time of the maturity time, the capsule is split from tip to downwards. Okay. So along with the vertical growth in this capsular wall, the vertical growths are there. So on the dry condition, the splitting capsule wall gets so twisted. The columella and pseudoelated salts helps in the spore dispersal. Mm. The spores have two wall layers. The outer one is the exospores and inner one is the endospore tissues are there. So each spore is the single nucleus is present and plastid oil bodies also present. So these spores are germinate and give rise to the protonium, means they absorb the water and to produce the a protonium papilla like structures are there. So these protoniums are again to develop as a rhizoid and the plant thallus will be developed. So life cycle. What is the life cycle of the here? So these anthoceras, they shows the regular alternation of the haploid gametophytic generation with the diploid sporophytic generation. The cells of the capsule wall, they contain the chloroplast. Therefore, the sporophyte is particularly self-sufficient and portionally depend on the gametophyte. Anthoceras with the slender sporophyte resemble the puzzle xylophytales, just like xylophyte of xylophyte like
Sir,
that.
page number 22. This is the graphics of lifestyle of Anthocyanin, no, sir?
Sorry.
Uh,
Hello.
life cycle, that's 20, page number 22, no, sir.
22,
Uh,
22,
graphic,
22nd is the
yes,
life cycle of
life,
the Anthoceras.
life cycle of Anthocyanin, sir.
Anthoceras.
Yes.
This is the haplontic generation, means alternation of generation.
All
Haplontic gametophyte and
okay, okay.
alternate with the diploid sporophytic generation. So that's
Okay,
why we
sir.
call as the alternation of generation.
Alternation of
One
generation.
by one, they are coming. Haploid
Okay,
gametophyte, again diploid sporophyte.
okay, sir. Thank
That condition we call as alternation of generation.
you.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank
the
you.
Anthoceras with the slender sporophyte, which is resembled to the xylophytales. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this one is the haplontic life cycle and diploid sporophyte life cycles are there. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So this is the sporophyte vertical section of the sporophyte of the Anthocera. See here centrally the columella is present. So that columella is both sides. So sporogenous tissue is there. Spore mother cells are sporogenous tissue. Archisporium, nothing but this archisporium is there. This archisporium again to develop as a spore mother cells, then spore mother cells again divide meiotically to form the four tetrad spores are there. This is the transverse section, this is the vertical section. Okay, okay, clear. So for the thanking to attend the class.
Sir, any important questions is there? Sir, any important questions is there, sir?